Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another night of Where Are My Sounds? Where are my sounds? Where are my sounds? My soundboard's toast. Anyway, welcome everybody to an episode of Market Watch. There's music and stuff that's supposed to be playing right now, but hey, you know what? I've been gone for 2 weeks on vacation in Japan, and I guess my soundboard has just decided to remove all sounds. Rest in peace, crypto, says Ripcord over on TikTok, and rest in peace, my soundboard. Sad face. But anyway, everybody, it is the evening of November 17th. Hope everyone's doing as well as you possibly can be, given the market conditions, because it does look like we are in a bear market of sorts, which is yikesy, oopsie, whoopsie daisies. But Doug, how you doing, man? How the past couple weeks been?
I'm good. I have more questions to ask. How are you, Mr. Traveler here? I've been sitting here in New Jersey for 2 weeks and you have not. So try to hold down the show. Did as best as I could. I didn't find any sounds the first 2 episodes. So you're good.
Oh,
you're good right now.
No one remembers what it was like when I was here. Wonderful. But no, I'm good, dude. It was the first time I've ever taken a 2-week long vacation. The longest vacation I've ever done up until then is like a 9-day vacation or something like that. So I will say, like a week and a half to 2-week vacation is a big psychological difference. For people who are not American watching this, you're probably very confused by us not understanding this. But for Americans who dream about taking a 2-week long vacation, it's something you should absolutely try to do a couple times in your life, at least before retirement, because that like extra 4 days really made it feel like I was away. Like it made it feel like I didn't actually have a job and that I just was living life. And then I came back here and I was definitely happier. I'm definitely happier now because of a 2-week long vacation. So definitely try to do it if you can. I know it's really hard for people, but you know, try to squeeze them in here and there if able. Meanwhile, Europeans are just like, what? Do not have the 2 weeks is the minimum for my cigarette break. And I'm like, I know, man. I know, Hans. I know, not for us. But I'm good, dude. It's nice to be back.
Nice. Glad to have you back. You like picked a pretty interesting time to leave. I mean, like it's crazy just thinking about like when you left and where it is now. Honestly, besides it sucking, like I'd be okay with this time not being here. Let's put it that way. I think you picked a good time to go if you knew, you know.
Yeah. You know, I actually have a knack right now of going on vacations and just markets tanking. Although
mark that down. I need to put that.
I travel a good bit more than most people.
Vacation indicator. Got it.
Will is I'm pretty sure it's a vacation. Me on vacation, like an actual vacation, markets tank. So I'm just like, man, I really wish I was a little bit closer to a position where I could have more actively managed my own positions. Instead, I've been hammered for 5 days straight.
So you did 2 weeks and you just put us in a bear market. That's what you did this time.
Yeah, exactly. I was gone for 2 weeks. Now we have a bear market.
Anyway.
Although, to be fair, I do think this is going to be a much shorter. But when I say bear market, I'm doing air quotes around this. I think it's going to be much shorter than historical averages here. So we had the high in October for Bitcoin. And so now we're like a month and a half past that. I think we have a bear market, if you will, for like minimum 2 months, maximum 6 months. Additionally, on top of this, which would put us in like, you know, like 4.5 to 4 months minimum bear market to like 8.5 months. Bear market is what I'm seeing, as compared to the historical average of like your typical 9-month to like 14-month time frame for crypto.
I would agree with that. I think it'd be fast, like almost like just the unraveling, right? Because there's a bunch of narratives you can go down the path here, but just in general, to your point, it's just like how quickly it went up, but just in general, the nature of the market right now, it makes sense for it to be a shorter period because just to get out of whatever, I mean, there's nonsense everywhere. Right, but kind of almost like flush it in a different way than the flushing happened last time. Not that the 1010, you know, liquidation, which by the way is still crazy. That was a month ago, which is one of the most, you know, let's call it historic events in crypto. You can argue. It's just crazy. So I don't know, but it seems like it's going to find its like let's call it the accepted market value in some way, but that's I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's what do I say? I'll say that every bear market, air quotes, or just like bearish run, whatever you want to say, it typically always, the ones that last are always started by some like monumental event. Like last time it was Luna. It was Luna, and then that led to FTX. And now we had that 10-10 massive liquidation day, and just Binance oopsie whoopsie is what we'll call it. Other people could call it extreme market manipulation and insider trading. You could, but we'll call it an oopsie whoopsies here. But yeah, no, and now we're kind of just where we're at, and things are just continuing to slide. Did you see that DApp radar closed earlier?
I just did see that. It's so funny because like I used to appreciate all these projects, and I completely forgot about them because I don't use a lot. Like I look at the charts for the most part, right? That's it. But I used to use all of the apps, and like that one when it popped up, I was like, wow, I'm like that sucks. They were like they were a thing.
Like OG.
Yeah, like they were legit. They provided a value to the market, like to their users, right? That was.
Yeah, it would be interesting to like peel back their business model, and we'll get into the charts in a second, everybody. But it would be interesting to like peel back their business model to see like how did this become unsustainable? Because they said they just couldn't afford to keep the lights on to do this, and I'm like, wow. I'd be curious to see like how are you making money? Where were your expenses? How are you not making enough to cover it? Was it not just
opportunities that now it creates too? At the same time, there's voids, there's gaps.
So. Yeah, there's so many different sites out there that make it easy to track stuff. If you're doing like research on altcoins, a favorite of mine that's been coming up has been CoinCarp. I've been using it for about a year. Really like that one a lot. Token Terminal, also good, although I feel like it's falling behind a bit. But there are a bunch of sites out there. But hey, I am severely jet lagged, everybody, and I have a headache. And I probably only got about 50 minutes, 60 minutes in me or so before my brain turns into a gooey mush. So before that happens, let's start getting into the market. So what we're going to do today is we will take a look at Bitcoin, of course. We're also going to take a look at the S&P 500. We're also going to take a look at stablecoin dominance. We'll take a look at gold, right? So we're going to go over the major markets right now. To try to get a sense as to kind of just like what's going on, talk through it, answer some of your questions. And instead of taking altcoin review requests, like to look at certain charts tonight, because all the charts are kind of garbage and they all kind of look the same, there's not a whole lot of point. So what we'll do instead is I'm going to pull up CoinMarketCap. We're going to start looking through the top 100 altcoins to find the ones that are holding up the best in these rough storms, because the most interesting thing that I like to do when the markets are super red is which altcoins aren't as red or maybe even green during this time period, because that is a sign of much more strength for that, be that fundamental. It's like bullshit.
Hype. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. There are some.
No, Hyperliquid's in there too. So that's what we'll do tonight. So I'm going to pull up the Bitcoin chart first, and we'll get started.
And while you're pulling it up, before I even you spread that, I want to just clarify too. I believe we are more in a bear market than we are not, or going that way. However, we still have to make a lower low on the higher time frames. Will's going to show here. So like as of right now, just as a short term, without going to the charts, I'm looking for short term longs here. Like to long back up to like 100K for Bitcoin to decide, hey, is that it? Like, so there's still a period of time where there's still like opportunities for things to go up, and they will go up and they'll rebound. And then it's more of a decision time of, hey, where are we going to go next? So just want to put that out there. Just before I get everybody like, oh, you say to call it bear market. I'm leaning that way. Yeah. Like it doesn't look good. But anyway, all right, go Will.
Yeah, and what I'll add on that too is if you've been watching my daily Bitcoin updates, I've been saying, hey, 85,000, that is a great opportunity for a bounce. And anywhere close to 85,000, good opportunity for a bounce. And the 85,000 could really be our bottom. I'll talk about why here in a second. But it really looks like 70 to 75K right now, to me, would be like a bottom. But like if we have a really strong bounce off of 85K, like there's a potential there, right? You always have an idea in your head, a theory of what you think is going to happen. But if the evidence presented to you is different from your theory, you have to change your theory, right? As always. So this is Bitcoin on the daily time frame here that we're looking at, going all the way back to, hell, the halving, really. But if we zoom in, a couple days ago, we broke with confidence this white line. This white line has been a line of support for us going all the way back to August 5th of 2024. So this line broke just a couple days ago. and we should expect a little bit more of a fall further down below. Once you have a line of support that's been around this long for such a period of time, you should just expect something larger. Now, if we're just eyeballing this, this is a major zone of consolidation here that we have for Bitcoin that is ranging between 89,000, so let's just say 90,000, and $73,000, right? This is the area that I believe is going to ultimately be our bottom. However, we'll keep our eyes on how the market goes. So this general zone here, right? Now, I also believe, let's see. Oh God, it's been so long since I've been on TradingView. I forget where to go to look at my object tree. Here we go. I also put the Fibonacci retracement tool on top of this to find areas of support and resistance. If you've been following my daily update videos, you know that there is the additional area of support here at $85.5 thousand. This blue line that is lined up perfectly with this consolidation zone as well. So we see even more of a reason as to why $85,000 could be a very strong area of support here. And if we come to the weekly chart, this is where we start to see the potential to fall lower. Because if I clear this up, when you have a major break of a key exponential moving average, typically you fall to the next key exponential moving average. Not always, though. Something can catch you beforehand. So on the weekly chart, this is telling us that we're going to fall down to the 200-day exponential moving average, which is sitting at $66,000. So is there something higher up that could catch us? Well, we just highlighted this consolidation zone ranging between $90,000 and what did I say, $75,000, right? That could potentially catch us. So if we want to find additional areas of support that could catch us sooner, we have to go to other time frames, particularly longer term time frames. Let's zoom out of the weekly and go to the monthly. Aha, look at this. We have the 21-month exponential moving average sitting right here at $87,000. Again, another reason as to why we're saying anywhere between where price is currently, because we just filled the gap in, all the way down to $87,000 is a likely area for a bounce. It's a very likely area for a bounce. Is that bounce going to be a bottom? I am leaning towards no right now, but if that bounce looks super strong, then, you know, we can reevaluate the data and change our minds, right? As of right now, I would say probably 70,000 is closer to a bottom. But this is a very strong area of support that could catch us and prevent us from that 66,000 scenario that we just talked about. Also, if we zoom out to an even longer term time frame, we can see that on the 3-month chart, the 12 exponential moving average, which we're still very far away from, we want to come down and touch this support. We would like the chart to just go up, right? But that's not how markets move, right? They want to come back down and at least touch some kind of support here on this chart, which is currently sitting at $75,000 and is right at the bottom of that range that we just highlighted as well, right? It's lined up perfectly with it. So this looks like a really, really, really good consolidation zone to have a maybe bottom, or at the very least, the strongest of possible bounces, really starting at that 87K range, in my personal opinion. The last things that I'll touch on is that you're not going to get elsewhere is the Moxie indicator here at the bottom of the chart. It is very bearish. Momentum right now is super bearish. We are very far away from getting into any kind of like bullish long-term territory here. We're well below the zero. We're not making any moves to the upside. Bearish momentum is very strong. So whatever trading scenario you're personally seeing on the charts right now, the bearish scenario doesn't have to play out. But the Moxie indicator here is telling us that you should expect the more bearish scenario to play out, whatever that bearish scenario is. If you have a certain trading pattern that you're looking at, expect it to break bearishly. That's how I've been using and utilizing the Moxie indicator here. Now, the last, I guess I said last thing, but I guess this will be the last thing. The other thing I want to point out is the RSI on the daily time frame is close to being in oversold territory. Okay. The last time we had an oversold reading on the daily charts RSI was over here, February 2025, which was not the bottom, but it was damn near close to the bottom. You'll find that that's a fairly common thing with the RSI. And sometimes it nails it. So we had another bottom here, and this was in fact the bottom. We had another oversold reading here, and it wasn't the bottom, but it was damn near close, right? So we're getting close to getting a signal here from the RSI telling us that, hey, we're close to at least a short-term bottom, right? And that's the data that I'm personally seeing on Bitcoin. So it'd be great to get an oversold reading on the RSI. It'd be great to, I think, personally fall down to that 87K range right here. Then potentially get a bounce. I could see us maybe going up as high as like, I don't know, $98, $95, $96,000, right? Just a little bit higher than where we are currently before potentially seeing a reversal again. But I'll need to get a little bit more pinpoint accurate as we get a little bit more data moving forward. And that's what I'm currently looking at for Bitcoin. Let me just see if there's any other little tidbits here. Oh yeah, right. On the monthly chart, the stochastic RSI is not in oversold territory. And it is telling us that we have probably 3 months of selling or consolidation to go before it does reach oversold territory, which is one of the reasons why that's like my bare minimum of a bear market lasting, right? An additional like 2.5, 3 months or so to 6 months additionally from where we are currently. And that's what I'm seeing in the market. Could something go lower? Yes. And that's purely what I'm looking at charts. I could pull up the Bitcoin liquidity heat map, but I'll just tell you this. There is a larger financial incentive in the market to drive the market lower to about $70,000. And then after that, the financial incentive switches and there's more financial incentive to drive the market higher after that. Of course, liquidity heat map is a dynamic chart. It changes, but as the market goes down and grabs those liquidation levels sitting at $85,000 to $70,000, there is far more money for centralized exchanges to go grab higher up, which is one of the reasons why I think this will be a short bear market. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the market.
I mean, you just convinced me I should look at indicators more seriously, because you just described, like, I'm like, yep, that makes sense. But I'm like thinking about this like all day. I'm like going through in my head. I'm like, nah, just an indicator of the MOX. It makes sense. Your walk towards it. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't say the obvious is the right word, but just like you have to take it for what it is, right? That's it. Until given a reason to consider otherwise, that's it. And not get super stuck in it or mixed up in it. So.
And I saw some people that were chatting with me on Twitter and they were saying like, hey, Bitcoin and crypto's down, but like stocks are still up. So won't Bitcoin recover? And I was like, oh, my sweet summer child. You have not known winter as I embrace and hold your cheeks. No, so like I took a look at the stock market today when I saw those comments and I was like, oh, this is about to fall like immediately. And then it started falling today. And the stock market's about to have a pretty nice sized correction too. And that's a lot of people I then put that out on Twitter and they were like, well then, but Bitcoin's already corrected. So like, it'll stop, right? And I was like, oh, you sweet, poor summer child.
Your hair.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I have too many gray hairs. Doug and I both have too many gray hairs now at this point. It's not how it's going to work. The stock market will fall and it'll grab Bitcoin and crypto with it. Because as positions get liquidated in the stock market, people need to sell positions in other markets to cover their leveraged positions in the stock market. And hey, guess what? They sell their crypto to do that along with other things, of course. But yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah. You just reminded me because I was like my bearish comment a minute ago. I'm like completely for a moment forgot about the stock market because the stock market has been until just as of late. I guess we can look at the stock market even though I don't want to, but we will right now. Let's do that. Is not fantastic to your point. And it's a reminder that, oh, that's still a problem. And if that problem becomes a bigger problem, then crypto has a bigger problem.
Yeah. I just want to address this one comment here from Samir over on Twitter. It says like, hey, does it make sense to short the market right now? Right now, maybe not, because you're really close to a bounce territory for Bitcoin. Right. You're really close to a bounce territory for Bitcoin between that 87K to 85K. So personally, I wouldn't be looking to open up a new short. I'd be looking to close a short that maybe you had set before. But we are in a bearish leaning market. So just like in a bull market, you don't short a bull market. In a bear market, you don't really long it either, right? The same can apply, right? I personally don't really play much in long and shorts myself. I typically just buy spot and do that. But if you're a leveraged, longer or shorter, if you will, then I would be looking to set up shorts while the bearish momentum is high. But just like in this case, let the market bounce upwards, hit a point of resistance, set a short with a stop loss. If you're in profit, great. If your stop loss triggers, you only lost a little bit, right? It's the same kind of logic, just reversed in a bull market.
Spot on. And so it's basically here. It's like I'm looking at. I'm just quick peek at Bitcoin, and I just looked at it. But like anywhere from like 94 up to 100K, you would be looking to more short, right? Like this, like this. That's it. And until it gets up here and does that,
What price level is that? About 103?
This one, which one? My home, which is the more serious here. I've been using like 100. It's probably the best gauge. Like it's a psychological level too. Like just use that as your proxy. So you're bearish under 100K, you can consider being, hey, semi-optimistic that maybe that's something different above 100K. And that's it. Like until then, I have to respect this downtrend. This guy here. Let's make this purple. I don't want to think of purple. No, let's do red.
That's a good rising color.
There you go. I should do that actually. I'm noted. Looking for new themes on TradingView. To have to assume that price is going to come up, it's going to reject the downtrend just like it has every time. The last, like all these. Every time.
Your use of sticker emojis.
They're the best here. So I have to assume a hammer until it tells me it's not a hammer. And even if this falls so hard though, it's like even where the hammer is going to be, because it may not even make it back up to that point.
Oh, so I think we lost Doug.
What's up? Oh, he dropped the phone.
Oh,
it's all good.
I lost you, or we lost you, or something. Oh, I'm also on the Wi-Fi like a fool. It was probably me.
I see that. I see your little. Anyway, all right. So that's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin. Until then, this is where the area to the question back to the individual asking for, looking times to short. Right now is not a time to short. Up here would be a time to de-risk, like so maybe close some positions that you're like, hey, I'm not that far down and like I could always re-enter, or looking to short, or making decisions. This would be a time there to think about it, but right now is a time, in my opinion, just watch at this point, unless you have a plan of how you're going into it. So stocks, sorry, going back here,
I forgot that's where we were going to.
Yeah, S&P 500, like I
500.
I haven't looked at this chart, man, since maybe it was last week. So I remember when it moved up here, that was like, I like drawing these sections now where it's almost like it's a different region, or this up here, green's a different region. It's about 67, 75. So right now we are under that region, and we are like in a, I don't even want to say, we're literally at I'm looking at this, the levels that was October. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Yeah. I don't like it. It's right when crypto fell off. That's where we just pulled under.
This is a bearish chart.
This is a bearish chart. That's the best way to put it. That's it.
Yeah. And the reason why, in my personal opinion,
this
is you have a lower high, right? That's the first thing that I saw and went, oh, okay. All right, hang on. Let's take a look at this. And then you take a look at current price action here. And Doug has this line drawn perfectly. You have the previous high here in the S&P 500, and that is currently acting as resistance, and solid resistance at that. So you have a higher low and price being held below a previous high. That signals down. It signals down all day, every day, all day long, 9 times out of 10. Right.
Dude, this is easy short too, by the way.
It was the easiest short. And honestly, you're probably about to get another one in a couple of days. Actually, oh, no, you're probably going to get it on Wednesday. You want to know why?
Why is that?
NVIDIA's earnings report.
Oh, no. Why would they do this to us? Don't. You see everyone who sold NVIDIA recently? There's a lot of people who sold NVIDIA recently.
Yeah, a lot of people sold NVIDIA recently. A lot of people. So it's not going to be a good earnings report.
So that means tomorrow is going to be green based on that. If I'm just talking out loud based on what you just said. You said Thursday or Wednesday? Wednesday?
Hang on a second. Let me look it up.
Because I think we're due for some relief at some point. And when I say relief, like this selling stops for like a hot minute before the end of the week, without a doubt. That to me would line up with, I was expecting today, and I was wrong yesterday saying today was going to be a green day. That was not. That was wherever I was talking about that last night.
It's Wednesday. So and then the earnings report for NVIDIA comes out at the end of day on Wednesday.
So maybe you get another Bitcoin dump here right as our Asia wakes up, and then that may be the last impulse
maybe,
down, and maybe tomorrow like at least start a bounce. That would be, you know.
Yeah. Because we're close to a bounce for Bitcoin, so maybe NVIDIA comes out with a good report and the stocks move. I mean, hey, if you hang on a second, don't leave that chart for 1 second.
I need to show your chart for this. Okay, go.
Because on the stock market, like that is a fairly bullish wick on that one, last bearish candle, right? That's a fairly solid bullish wick here, and that could signal you might have a rally back up to this top that I would imagine will be another rejection.
That is where, that's why this is definitely the scenario, which will draw right here. It's going to be this, or actually it almost looks like you like, oh, it's going to do this, but then it just made you do that. That's what you would anticipate. Yeah. I support that view. Right.
The video comes out, it's a solid report, and people go, oh my God, it's fine. And then Bitcoin has its 87K bounce and goes up to, I don't know, let's just say 95, 96K, 98K, something like that. And then the market tanks. And I did get the question here of like, what's the bearish news? Like, why is this happening? We'll talk about it. It's macroeconomics. But Doug wants to pull up another chart.
One more thing too, as I'm looking at this, and I always think too, if I was like an evil like market maker, if there was someone with like literally a die off the entire market, what I would do is send this back up tomorrow above this level here, and like make it think it's really bullish going into Wednesday, and then all of a sudden then this this is a big bear trap. Sorry, a bull trap. I'd be looking for a bull trap here if it does that, as heading into Wednesday, knowing the video's there and knowing that it seems like there's probably something coming. Yeah. So let's remember that. Let's put an alert here and remember that. All right, really quick, you have to see this chart.
What are we looking at? Is it Fartcoin?
No. No. Dude, did you see MicroStrategy? Oh my goodness. How is this one?
Strategy announces legal name change from
this when they did this. I put an arrow here, and I'm only doing this because I'm semi-bitter. Like I was like, why would you change the name?
Good name.
Strategy, MicroStrategy to strategy. But this is where it happened. That's where the legal change happened. I think they announced it earlier, but I'm like, you did it yourself. This is not good, by the way. Kidding aside, MicroStrategy, this is crazy. And actually, I think they bought Bitcoin last week or in the last couple of days. I think like 800 million.
Oh God, this is MicroStrategy's stock.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Oh no.
Right. That's why I noticed it the other day when this candle happened. Like, but I got alert. Then I just stopped paying attention. I forgot to look back, and I was like, wow. So this is definitely sending bear vibes. Like this is unraveling of other things. It seems like, I don't know, speculating, but I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know enough about this, but if Strategy's stock goes down low enough, they have to start selling Bitcoin.
Again, I don't know either, so I'm not going to speak. Let's cover that tomorrow, because my guess is maybe a little something. Like somewhere as a backup plan if you can't. I don't know.
Well, that would be the thing that would cause Bitcoin to close that $20,000 gap.
But by the way, so they just bought, and this we're looking at right now. It's been nuging for like what? It's like months, 2 months, and they just bought like almost $1 billion of Bitcoin 2 days ago. So I don't get it. I need to understand.
They bought $800 or $900 million like yesterday.
Yep. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Anyway,
let's just see
show you that. I forgot about it.
MicroStrategy have to sell Bitcoin if their stock were to fall far enough. Come on, AI overlords, think for me.
Lie to us.
Tell us such pretty whispering lies.
Quick side note for any ChatGPT users, we could share it. I put in in your settings to basically have it tell you, like, don't agree with me, like challenge my thoughts, because it's very common for AI to basically agree with you, and it has actually drastically improved my interaction with AI. So I'm gonna share that tidbit.
So here it is. The short answer is probably not, at least not legally forced to. But yes, there are scenarios in which MicroStrategy could end up selling some of its Bitcoin if conditions deteriorate. So why MicroStrategy doesn't have to sell Bitcoin right now? Because it's on their balance sheet as a treasury asset. It's not pledged as collateral for general debt, which makes sense. Yada, yada, yada. They've said that they're going to hodl, yada, yada, yada. There's no public contract that appears to force an immediate sale for a drop in stock price. All right, so here's why they could end up selling. If MicroStrategy's stock price collapses, its ability to raise equity becomes impaired. Analysts note the company depends on capital markets to fund acquisitions. If Bitcoin's price drops sharply, the value of their Bitcoin holdings falls, which could impair margins and financial flexibility. If they issue convertible debt or preferred shares and obligations come due, they might need to raise huge amounts of capital or sell assets. While Bitcoin is in pledge, yada, 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 yada. Okay, I mean, that all makes sense. So hopefully... Right. But yes, El Taco... Oh my God, that's such a good name on TikTok. El Taco Bell Supreme asked, didn't Michael Saylor say Bitcoin can go to 1 and they still wouldn't be forced to sell? Correct. And as we just went over there's zero legal obligation for them to sell. However, if they do get to the point where they do have to raise money in order to continue to run his business, they might have to do that. Although I think Michael Saylor is the type of guy who's like, cool, I'll just divest the software side of our business because he just wants to be a Bitcoin bank, and then he'll make money that way. I feel like he'll do that.
You're right. You're not wrong.
Hello, Jerome. But anyway, so dude, let's take a look at the stablecoin dominance that you were talking about.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Just to quickly summarize everything we went over here, guys. Bitcoin is looking like it could have a bounce somewhere at like 87 to 85K. We're closer to a bounce territory here for Bitcoin, even though it could slide a little bit further. So personally, wouldn't be looking to set up shorts. I'd be looking to really see how it goes up and test resistance and then maybe open up a short, right? Or to deleverage and de-risk certain positions as we get a bounce here. Assuming it happens, of course, could totally be wrong, but that 85 to 87K looks right. Afterwards, lower could totally happen, right? Like 70K. The stock market looks like it's about to roll over. However, we might get a boost with the NVIDIA report on Wednesday. That could be the boost in the stock market up to resistance again and then fail, or create some type of a bull trap, and also create the environment that we need for Bitcoin to go up as well. So that's everything that we went over so far.
Let's go. I want to show you DXY too, but I'm going to be selective because I know we will...
Unless NVIDIA totally misses their earnings, in which case everything collapses immediately.
We're just looking at, oh yeah, stablecoin D. Oh yeah, this guy, this chart. Okay, so this is the stablecoin dominance, not the one we're used to. The one is that the USDT, which is everyone, I think it's the Tether dominance. This is the stablecoin dominance, like the collective. So this includes all of them. I believe Tether, Circle, the other, how many we have now, I have no idea. And essentially is a percentage of the entire market. So right now, this stablecoin dominance, which the ticker is stable.c.d, is above 10%. The reason I'm sharing this chart is that this chart to me is just like one of the most bullish charts I've ever seen. I'm not like, which is not great for crypto.
Not good for
not good at all. Cause it's just very, look at this. It's so clean. It's almost like it's not real. So as of right now, I mean, it does look like it's coming to some type of, at least head up here, but at the same time, this chart is just like, it's just insane. And I was watching this last year so much, and I'm kind of frustrated. I got distracted by it because at one point, these type of perspectives, like when they're not like really aligned, they're kind of just like it's there, right? So like the dollar isn't always aligned to crypto, but when it is aligned, it's very aligned. This one, as of late, is very aligned, and I've not been paying attention to it. So, but the chart is super bullish, and that's all I have to say about that.
And so the reason why this being bullish is bad for markets is because, again, we're looking at stablecoin dominance. So what causes stablecoin dominance to go upwards is people are selling and going into stablecoins. So this chart being bullish is a sign that people are more and more and more and more aggressively selling and moving into stablecoins. That's how and why that happens. But it does look like that is starting to come to a head and could likely have a reverse. So again, that is another sign to us that we're close to a potential bounce territory for Bitcoin and crypto as a whole.
No doubt. Can I share one more here? Just sure. Because decide with this, I want this. So this is a view I drew on November 5th. So this is like, it's like 12 days ago. Actually, right when you left, like right before you left, or right around that time. So this is the dollar on the left-hand side, DXY, the dollar index, on the right's Bitcoin. So this was looking at, if I zoom out and I just look at the dollar itself, remember this bigger picture we're looking at, like the dollar. I'm like, hey, look at this being a possible bottom, like just overall, and really zooming in here, like around this level, because this looks like it's a similar bottom to 2020, 2021, 2017. So the focus for me is, okay, I'm going to zoom in here and like get a view for, okay, what does this bottom look like? So this actually kind of printing a diamond here too in a way. I believe the dollar is going to move up to like $102, $103 at some point at the rest of the year, and that to me is going to be a really, really bearish indicator overall. However, between now and then, that's what I was zooming in here, was trying to get a feel for, okay, maybe this makes a higher low here before it goes up. There's a pullback. So now I was comparing Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin view here, I put them side by side, was trying to get them both in the picture, was Bitcoin falling here. This was last week, 2 weeks ago, when the first started pulling back, wanted that bounce like through this box. So I'm sharing this chart to show it's past the level where I want it to be. Does not mean that this idea, this plan that I had isn't still valid, but it's just, for me as like an analyst, I'm like, okay, this now is not the scenario I was thinking of. So I'm not throwing this out, but I'm being hyper aware of it still. The reason that is that over here is that the dollar is still hanging on. So I still believe there'll be some type, this looks pretty heavy, that this will be a pullback. And that's where that relief will come from. Crypto, at least hoping, for like 1 to 2 weeks. Now there still may be some nasty days in between, like we were talking about before, like a Wednesday possibly being nasty, or Thursday. But I still, there's a little relief left before I think there's a bigger move up by the dollar. And then that may be the time to short and take things off the table. That's what I'm looking for. This is my guidance. And I was thinking that was going to happen by Thanksgiving, or for those who celebrate in the US, around that time last week in November. That's kind of my benchmark right now.
Yeah, and when I look at the DXY here too, when I just see basically what is straight up here, you typically don't get that. Typically you'll then have some kind of fallback in, and just like experience will tell you, like, you want to color this in with like some future bars, right? Yes. And so falling back down, coloring this in a little bit, and then continuing higher for the DXY, the dollar, makes the most amount of sense to me as well.
So that's the chart I wanted to share. I'm still watching this, but it's Bitcoin just took a little bit more of a beating than I would have liked. So.
Yeah. And so now let's talk a little bit as to why this is happening. So there isn't any particular single bit of news that is causing this to happen, but it is a culmination of things as to why this bearish picture is happening. Let's start with like soft things. The stock market's been going up for a super long time and is well overdue for a correction, right? You can just eyeball that. But if we get more macroeconomic, for the past 3 years, people have been just kind of getting slowly cut by inflation. After COVID, inflation was as high as like 8%, or inflation was as high as 8% or 9%. And now we've just been fighting that down. But in order to fight that down, we've been creating a constrictive monetary environment. So meanwhile, inflation has still been hurting people. We go to the grocery store still, shit's expensive. Beef is really expensive. We've been talking about longing beef for like a year now, almost at this point. And so people just have less and less money because other things are becoming more expensive, which means there's less free capital to go invest in markets. That's one thing. Secondly, there is a large wave of unemployment coming because firings have been starting earlier this year from major corporations, global firings, and those have been accelerating quite a bit. From about like last month till Christmas right now, a ton of firings are happening across major corporations. So now people will have even less money. So what do you do when you have less money? You can't invest. In fact, you sell assets in order to pay for food and all that kind of stuff. So eventually your unemployment runs out, at least it does in the States. And so you have that also happening. Okay. At the same time, we have been seeing some signals that this was coming, because at the very beginning of this year, institutional sellers or players were selling, retail was buying. It was a massive retail-led rally this entire year, and smart money was selling. That was a signal that we've been talking about for a while, that, hey, maybe this isn't going to last. But also, retail was putting in so much money that I was like, oh, shit, this thing's lasting. So we're finally just kind of getting to the tipping point where now retail just doesn't have that money to keep that gravy train rolling. The other thing, too, is actually... No, everything else I was about to say all just leads back into shit's expensive, people have less money, unemployment's on the rise. Both those things are going to compound. And yeah, I don't know. Doug, am I missing anything?
The only thing, so you're spot on with all the ones that are the, you hit everything. The only other one I want to add to crypto, and I think it's just like it's more of a which is a good thing. I'm going to call it the unraveling of crime. That's the best way I'm saying it. Where it's almost like if like the way markets moved this year from multiple perspectives, many perspectives, was not normal. Meme coins being one of the unfortunate the players there, but the individuals around the markets, and that was one of the reasons. But it's almost like the markets can continue to be healthy with these types of unnatural, and I thought the markets are natural, right? But these variables, right? So, but that seems to me that it's been now it's unpricing where what that was expecting, that can't continue anymore because the markets are not accepting it, which is a good thing. So I think once it all does come kind of down, we get this kind of correction here, the bigger one, whatever that may be, slash bear market, the other path back up will hopefully be good. Like crypto Twitter won't be absolutely as horrid and miserable as it's been. It's actually it's almost like we're almost the sad part. We're at the sad where it's like everyone's so tired. They can't even be angry. They're just so tired. So I think that will pass. I think there'll be much better times, which is good for the space, honestly. Because I'm just excited for people to care about things again. That's it. So
yeah. And there was something else I was going to add. There was a question in TikTok I was trying to make sure I had an answer for, which was from Fair Value Gary, which is there somewhere where you can watch retail versus institutional buying and selling? I have a very curated Twitter stream, and I follow a bunch of analysts who will post screenshots because they have access to like Bloomberg's dashboards, which you have to pay for, and then they'll just post screenshots from there. So you can go and follow Jesse Cohen over on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. You can also go and follow the Kobesi letter. Again, that is the Kobesi. It's like Koebessi, the Kobesi letter. Both those are really great places to have professional analysts kind of share some of the stuff they're looking at. But Fidelity also offers retail flow data, Schwab retailer trader activity reports, Vanguard retail flow reports. Not all these are free though. Yahoo Finance also offers this kind of stuff too. So give all those a look. But also, if you're not on Twitter or X, you probably should be, just to stay up to date on like financial information. That's what I use it for. And just like every social media site, there's a whole bunch of shit and garbage on there. But
you just reminded me, you got to check out Clofin. Will,
I've heard of
Clofin is like you take the DeFi llama, but like of stocks indexes, and it has the cryptos there too, but it's primarily focused towards TradFi, and like it's clean. Like, and I actually haven't been using it. I need to subscribe to it again, but very nice way of visualizing information differently and allowing you to have customizations, but not too much. All right. So anyway, good view.
Yeah. I'll field a couple questions here from the audience. One was over here from Mickey over on Twitter. Do you think Bitcoin goes back above 105K by December 31st of this year? Personally, no. Open to totally changing my mind to seeing how aggressively Bitcoin bounces off of that 87 to 85K range. If it's really aggressive, then maybe. But if it's not super aggressive, then nil. Like, I'm honestly looking at like 98 to like 100K really being pretty strong resistance for any kind of big bounce upwards that we get.
Would you agree, Will, on that comment that if Bitcoin does hold here, let's just say the CME gap, like the 91, or was it 91.5, whatever it is, 92 was like the bottom, and it does bottom here, that there's a less likelihood of it going higher as if it were to go down now to the 80s and then find more demand and then bounce. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too. It's almost like, get it over with. Just do it. Because I want to know what's down there. I want to know what's down there. Who wants to buy? How many buyers? Was there a real reaction like we used to see back previous markets when it was almost like it wasn't an event-driven sell-off. It was just a price-driven sell-off, if that makes sense.
Yep. And I am expecting lower personally, Papa Aztec. But I am expecting a bounce between 87 and 85K. Also got the question here from Randy R. Ethereum still a good long-term? I personally think so. Yes, I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are good. But I'm buying a little bit of those every single day currently right now, just FYI. And going to put those into long-term hold positions. And I'm going to keep buying more and more of it because I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana have higher price targets in the future. Also, a real good opportunity to mention, Jito is a sponsor of the show. Honestly, a great place to go and stake your Solana. You can right now go and get, I think it's 5.2% or 5.4%.
So it is.
Your Solana. Yeah. So if you are holding long-term positions and you're not earning interest on it, there are a lot of different ways to earn interest on it. Obviously, you don't have to use Jito, right? You can use, there's also like Marinate for Solana. You can also just keep your Solana on your Coinbase too and earn less, right? There are options out there. But Jito is the largest in all of Solana for Solana staking. So go get a shop, and they're official sponsor of the show. So appreciate the support if you guys choose to do so. But make sure you're earning interest. The bear market is the time to start staking.
Airdrop farming, and we build stuff. It's bear markets are exciting in some ways.
Staking, you should be doing that in a bear market. If you are prescribing yourself to dollar cost averaging, you're buying every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, take the amount that you're buying and just put that over to where you're staking. Make sure you're earning interest off of that. Or if you're just waiting for a confirmed bottom, you get lower, you buy your bag, take that bag, stake it. Because, hey, it's going to take time for the markets to recover. So make sure you're earning some interest off of that. And if you have a fat bag of stable coins, make sure you're doing good stuff with that, putting that to work. Even if that's just on Coinbase or whatever, and you're earning 4%, hey, that's something better than a savings account. But hey, take that also on Solana. Go over to DeFi Carrot, not a sponsor of the show, just awesome. And I think they're at 6% right now, where you can earn 6% off of your stable coins, which is basically outperforming the stock market. It's basically just like you're invested in the S&P 500, which is hilarious, but you're in stable coins. So it's risk-free, essentially. But there are a bunch of other options out there. Morpho Labs is an option. Maple Finance is an option as well for staking stable coins. But make sure you're earning interest during this time, guys. I want to switch topics here. And I would like to take a look at coin market cap. I want to try to take a look at some coins here that are outperforming Bitcoin and find some things with strength. Unless, Doug, you just had something you wanted to share.
I had an alert go off that is interesting to me that I need to look at. If that we do that on the fly.
Yeah, go for it. Do it on the fly.
All right. Got to put it out there. Filecoin.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. Only because this one had made the move, this move that was about 2 weeks ago, this really big move, which was after the Zcash, zone thing, which, by the way, Zcash, different. I do want to talk about that a different day. I'm not ready to talk about it now, but that market it's kind of just giving its own thing, right? Its own narrative, and there are kind of spin-offs to that. Now, some of them may just be, hey, it's some of the Dino coins that are moving because that coin's moving, right? But it's interesting to watch. So that's the only reason I'm bringing it up for the context. So Filecoin had made a really, really big move last week, and then has been just kind of just really just cooling off here. And this was the first sign of strength in a while. So I just had this alert go off. I'm not saying to do anything with it, but it's something I'm keeping an eye on because that's where Will is going. I'm saying, like, hey, what are the stronger markets right now that are moving that may give you kind of as a leading indicator towards what's going to be happening next, possibly, or they're lagging. But as of right now, because we're looking for a bounce, I would be more thoughtful of the thought that they are the leaders of the pack versus saying the laggers in that case.
Yeah. And what I'm seeing here that I like about this on Filecoin is you're seeing this rounding bottom. The bears are slowly moving momentum. You see this rounding happening right here. And now you've had some green candles upwards, and you're starting to get above some previous highs here. And now you could actually have, like, I don't know, maybe a move up to like 260 or something. If I'm just eyeballing this, yeah, it'd be about.
Oh, we got a new shape, Will. Sorry, we got a new shape. You're talking about it. We got. It's a Nike. It's a Nike.
The backwards Nike.
Oh, no good. I can't do it on here. I can't do. I'm rip you apart. But sorry, you're spot on. Like it's just nice. Like just it's like you just like see it. Like it's progressing. Like it.
Yeah, it makes me feel good still about like Bitcoin and all that having a bounce pretty soon in this like current range we're in between like 91K to 85K. And maybe it'll be that NVIDIA news. Maybe that'll be what picks it up. But like Filecoin's clearly pointing towards
that one. Then the Uni. You got something about the Uni this morning, I believe, right? The Uniswap.
Dude, I'm so excited for Uniswap's
Uni.
future.
This is honestly. So I should have brought this up first. This one to me is more of a chart to pay attention to because of its value.
Because it has the clearest bottom of any crypto like chart I've pulled up.
look at this. I mean, it's just like, if you look across, like it's like, this is the level. I mean, if you look all the way back, like this is, oh my goodness.
Yeah, just bottom, bottom,
See, this to me like says, hey, there's still something left in the, something like this maybe, like, but you shoot here to $14 gets really nice. But like as of right now, this looks nice. So I'm taking, but I would love. What's up?
Were you paying attention? Were you listening to the show?
I only caught when you were talking about the reason why it was happening. I only like 5-10 minutes.
No. Well, that was just it. I just want to make sure that you were aware of like the proposal changes to Uniswap's like.
Oh yeah, there's a reason for it, which would be
it would just be awesome if Uniswap has a burn mechanism. If Uniswap has a burn mechanism, that automatically puts Uniswap in the territory of a coin that almost everybody should be looking at potentially buying or at least evaluating for themselves.
Yeah. Like I'd be, not financial advice here, but I would be, if this is a market I'd want to get into, I would be considering looking for another final move down Bitcoin. I'd be bidding from like $7 down to $6, like this whole area here. It's like with spot, like just don't even overcomplicate it. Like just like this, and not, super low leverage or no leverage, even better. That would be the move. That's it. Because to me, that's, yeah. I have to write a note to myself here. Remember to do it after and then one last one, and then we look at coin market cap. Hype though, oh man, I caught this short. Hype has been one of the most enjoyable markets to watch just because of the volume that's associated with it. It seems like it's just very clear moves. And as of right now, as of today, I've been watching on the corner of my eye here, my periph, is that it's always been the strongest from the bounce. Like even like on an hourly bounce, it's always the one that is really kind of making that quicker move, like this here. So right now, Sol and ETH, they're like down here. I know it's hard to see on TikTok, but they're down here. They've shown strength, but Hype is way ahead. Now Hype is at resistance right now, but if Hype does flip $40, like up here, I think I'd probably pull back maybe first this, something like that. I would be shooting for, the highs up here, which is like 42, maybe even 44, but it's a strong market. So just watching those, to me, is kind of gives you a different flavor of the other altcoins, and especially across different, let's call them sectors. Would you call them sectors? Right. So you got like a DEX, you got perp DEX here, which is your Hype, and then Filecoin is decentralized storage, which I don't know if anyone cares about, but hey, it's different. It's a different, just having that kind of balance of different markets helps you gain perspective and try to see if those will give you some type of confluence to the bigger markets turning around. Mm-hmm. All right, those are the ones I wanted to share. So you
wrap up the show. I'm going to pull up coin market cap here. Let's take a look at what coins are showing strength. Uniswap is one of them, shocker. Filecoin is one of them, shocker. Hyperliquid also one of them, shocker. So let's see here. Actually, let's change this to, oh wait, do I do this on? Oh, it's been so long since I've done this not on my phone. I'm trying to just make sure I can pull up Bitcoin. Whatever, I'll do it this way. So we're going to take a look at the 7-day number here, and we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is down 14% over the past 7 days. Oh, let me just let TikTok know that I'm not a robot and still alive. So we're looking for coins that are doing better than essentially 14%. So if we move down this list, BNB is down only 9% against Bitcoin's 14%. So BNB typically is the altcoin that outperforms in bearish territories because it's the last token that people sell. Because why would you sell the token that makes your trading fees lower if you have all these other altcoins to sell? You sell all of your other bags and then you sell your BNB last. That's why it's like it's a coin that does typically much better in a bear market. Tron only down 2%. It's actually very flat, which is, I hate that. Also, Hyperliquid only down 5.5% over the past week against Bitcoin's 14%. Not a surprise. Bitcoin Cash is actually doing better, which I hate. Zcash is up 6.5%. I expect that party to end.
Yes.
One thing that happens is when you're in a bear market, you'll always have like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 coins that usually maybe even a little bit less, that the entire market just dives in like a life raft. And they'll outperform. It'll be like, just like I said, 3, 4, 5 coins. That happens every single time. Then that party always ends. That is not a safe haven. It is just the entire market desperately trying to dive into something that is still green, but ultimately you are becoming exit liquidity. Sorry. What else we got? Monero up 3.6%. That party will end eventually as well. But hey, look at that. Look at that go. I don't expect that to continue. With coins like Hyperliquid, I would expect it to generally continue because they have such an aggressive tokenomic buyback and burn mechanic. Canton. I have no idea what the hell Canton is. Do you?
I thought you said Canto for a second. I was like, whoa, that was a throwback. I was on that chain for a while.
No, Canton.
Nope, no idea what that is. No idea.
Right, but it's only down 6%. I might have to look into that later, see if it's something that's worth it. World Liberty Financial, it's beating Bitcoin, only down by 9.5%. What else we have here? BitGet token down 8%, so technically better. Pi down 3.8%. Don't touch Pi. What else do we have? KuCoin token down 9.6%. Same with BNB. Pax Gold, that makes sense, only down 3%. Cosmos technically beating Bitcoin, but not by much. What do we have here? Dash is up 4% over the week.
Look at that chart now. Oh my god.
Damn. Dash proving to everyone
pass.
Cool off. 10 cryptocurrency. Starknet is also up 4%. Morpho is down 10%, so beating Bitcoin. It's funny. I took a look at my Morpho bag and my syrup bag, and I'm really not down that much. And I was like, oh, that's a nice surprise. I came back from vacation just expecting like everything to be murdered. AB token. Oh, is this? Wait, what the hell is AB token? Is this Alien Base?
While you're pulling it up, I see in the TikTok chat here we got muscle emoji. Privacy will the strongest narrative, thanks to CDBC and the digital ID rollout. That's interesting. I'm always like the thought of like I used to track narratives so much, and but this cycle like, they completely threw me off. Where it's like nothing matters, no one cares about anything but meme coins. So screw narratives. I think that's a worthy one maybe to keep an eye on just in general because I'm already kind of seeing hints of it already playing out.
Telcoin up 92% over the week. What the hell is Telcoin? Is this a Telegram? Did I miss this while I was in Japan?
ICE. No, that's TON.
No, the Telcoin token was issued by Telcoin in 2017. Why is a 2017 token up? Okay, I don't really expect that to continue unless there's something I'm missing. Decred is also up 4.6%. MYX Finance, so Mix Finance, up 4%. And that's that. So if I go through this whole list, I mean, actually, what was Uniswap like? Where is it? Uniswap.
Sorry, I'm gonna flip back here.
Down 23% on the week. So of the coins that are outperforming Bitcoin, I mean, like Monero, I don't expect it to continue, but like Monero is the greatest privacy coin out there. I really just think it's people diving into life rafts that are still green in this market. But Hyperliquid at 5.23%. Hang on a second. I thought Aster. Where's Aster?
Aster actually was looking really good. I haven't looked at the charts today, but Aster has been looking okay.
So Aster and Hyperliquid, not surprisingly, they are outperforming the market because of their really good burn mechanics and usage. If Uniswap changes their tokenomics and they add that burn mechanic, which would probably not be until the first part of 2026, I would expect Uniswap to start being a token that would start outperforming the market as well, but that's not going to happen for a few more months.
By the way, with those type of things, I've never had in the past have been aware of the timing of the price and relative to a change like that. It's a bullish change. I would assume, are those historically sell the news events, or this is something that's actually bigger that's almost like, hey, people can bring attention to it and actually will, it would be even more bullish than it is out of the gate. I don't know.
So I've found that in the past, yes. In today's market, no. People don't care much about technical upgrades or like big economic upgrades as much. But also at the same time, it could totally be a sell the event once the vote passes and people get excited and pumps and yada yada yada, and then the change actually happens. But you should expect a higher low because then Uniswap will have a token burn, like an active burn. It's not revenue though. It's not Uniswap's revenue. It is the tokens used within the Uniswap auctions. And I have to make sure I'm doing this accurately, so I'll look it up and make a video on it. But it's in their auctions where they are auctioning to get lower fees on Uniswap. Those tokens used in those auctions are then burned. And Uniswap will go and burn, it's like roughly $900 million worth of Uniswap tokens that they estimated would be the amount of tokens that would have been burned since they turned Uniswap on based off of those auctions. However, just keep in mind, when organizations say they're going to burn tokens, they're burning them out of the company treasury. That is not active supply of that token out on the market. It has zero impact on price. Zero impact on price. Because if a supply of a token is lessened, yeah, less supply, higher price. But the only thing that matters is the amount of supply that is available on the market. And tokens that are held in a company treasury are not available on the market. So if you burn $1 billion worth of tokens just in your company treasury, it does nothing to the demand and supply on the open market. So it doesn't affect the price. Just FYI. If you ever see a company being like, we're going to burn this amount of our tokens, and people are like, oh my goodness, just know it's a marketing stunt and it does nothing. Does nothing. Okay.
Markets are rolling over right now as we speak, by the way. Looking a little sad.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Bitcoin's heading to 87K right now.
Yep.
Sure.
By the way, I looked at Telcoin. Let's look at chart. Let's look at chart. Gotta pay attention to it now.
It's up 100% on the week.
Dude, look at it. I know it's the last one we'll go. This is really quick. I just like this is like look at it. It's I'll flip my thing here. I like the strength. If this thing kind of flips, I'll flip this here. Oops. There we go. Like, dude, just right now it's not resisting, but this thing get up here, like, yo, long here, all the way up here. So but it's got to flip this resistance where it's so 006, get above 006. Let's say long at 007. Nice chart. I'll put an alert on. We'll pay attention to it. But that's it. That's all I got. All right.
That, everybody, is going to be the show for tonight. So I know we didn't take requests for altcoins tonight because my brain is just mush and a lot of charts all kind of look the same. So again, quick recap. Bitcoin looking like it's close to a bounce territory somewhere between the 87K to 85K range, which looks like we are well on our way to, but honestly, we could have a bounce happen at 90K too. So that 90K to 85K range, look for a bounce. What could trigger that bounce is it could be a positive NVIDIA earnings report that comes out at the end of the day this Wednesday, which would be about like 4:30 or 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this Wednesday, which is November 19th for anybody listening to this in the future. Also, it looks like the stock market's about to roll over more, but in the very, very, very short term, also potentially positioned to have a tiny bit of a bounce if the NVIDIA earnings report is good. Obviously, this potentially all goes out the window if NVIDIA comes out and their earnings report is bad and the market's just slam on down. So, expect a lot of volatility after trading Wednesday. We also took a look at stablecoin dominance. Stablecoin dominance is continuing to push higher, which is bad for the cryptocurrency market. However, it is also looking like it is coming to a head. Also, we took a look at the strength of the dollar, the DXY. The Dixie chart looks like it's trying to go higher, but could also roll over here for a little bit. If it does roll over a little bit, it'll find support most likely and most likely chart to higher highs. But again, giving us an opportunity to have a bounce in Bitcoin. So we're starting to see these tea leaves all line up here. Took a look at a number of coins, and for cryptocurrencies that are outperforming Bitcoin that I personally believe in, you have Hyperliquid, you have Aster, and you had a couple other ones, but
Telcoin. Unicorn, Unicorn. Oh my gosh, Uniswap.
Uniswap is down.
Telcoin said that, yeah.
Uniswap is down over 20% over the week, so it has not been outperforming Bitcoin.
Oh, sorry. So yeah.
Yeah, but there was Telcoin up 100%. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna be heading out of here, and we'll see you guys next Monday, and I will see you bright and early in the morning tomorrow with Alex and I think Evan, who is still in Buenos Aires at the Ethereum event, or the Dev Connect. So anyway, guys, I'll see y'all on the internet. Hope you all have a good rest of your evening. Do good things. Be good people. Make a bunch of money.